I saw a fellow who had been riding briskly along on his bicycle. He seemed to have noticed my presence just as he was about to collide with me. He let out a loud scream and toppled over on the spot. I felt badly for the poor guy, but there was nothing that I could do for him. For now, I put thoughts of the city aside and made a break down the road in the opposite direction. Whenever I caught wind of others, I always ran away. That guy would almost certainly think that this was all just a dream when he woke up the next morning. Of course, it wasn't a dream at all. I would still be here, the windows still broken, and the doghouse still destroyed. My quick retreat was perhaps a bit too speedy. Before I knew it, I ended up somewhere that I didn't recognize. Hoping to get a better grasp of where I was, I moved to a nearby park and made myself larger than a house. As I swept my gaze around, far taller than even the power poles, I found that I really had traveled an incredible distance. Far on the horizon, I could see the shore where I had spent those fleeting moments the night before. I needed to get back home before dawn, so for the time being, I shrunk back down until I was around the width of the road, and began leisurely making my way back towards the sea. If I ever was discovered, the ones who found me would definitely be shocked. However, it was easy to avoid being seen. For example, if I were to be seen by a car, I could just leap up high enough to pass over the car unseen. Of course, I don't really have to avoid cars. It wasn't as if I would die if one hit me. And even if it did, I would simply let them pass right through me by diffusing the black droplets of my body at the point of impact. The real reason I avoided them was to prevent any accidents caused by startled drivers. Besides, I tired of the game of frightening people long ago. Tonight, I leapt high enough to overtake any approaching vehicles. Even with a form like this, I could feel the evening breeze. I could hear sirens wailing faintly in the distance. Night is such a peaceful time. When I arrived at the shore, I found the lovely familiar reflection of the moon upon the ocean. This night, however, someone had arrived there before me. Two people sat upon the beach, their arms around each other's shoulders. I got the feeling that they had come hoping to spend a little time enjoying the ocean as well. Though they were some distance away, having a monster appear at a time like this would definitely spoil the mood. I was sad to go, but I decided to quietly leave the shore behind. I was rather proud of myself for managing to be so considerate. It seemed I had no other choice but to head straight for my objective. From where I stood, my intended destination would take about 10 minutes to reach by bike. If I were to run in this form, it would not even take a second. That said, I had less and less of a reason to rush now, so I took my time heading there, as not to startle anyone. In the end, it took me about 20 minutes to arrive at my destination. Separated from the residents and surrounded by greenery, the place was utterly silent. I stretched my back up, literally, and peeked over the outer walls. Naturally, no one was there. Melting and dispersing my body, I slipped through a tiny hole in the wall and crept into the schoolyard. Just a few hours prior, I had been in the bath. It was not some sort of whim that led me to return to campus, nor was I interested in causing mischief. I definitely hadn't come back because I sincerely adored that school that I attended. It was because there was a change in tomorrow's schedule and I had left my homework in my locker. I gathered up my black drops and reformed my monstrous body. I could see a glimpse of light from inside the school building, likely a security guard making the rounds. I had to be sure not to startle him, and that meant staying out of sight. I shrank myself down a bit, pretending to be a large dog. I hugged the edges of the schoolyard as I walked towards the building. Of course, I could pretend all I want, but if anyone got close, they would see my jagged mouth, 8 eyes, my 6 legs, and my 4 tails, and probably have a heart attack. Even if I could change my size, or momentarily alter my form, I seemed to be beholden to some guideline that required I maintain this basic appearance. The guideline set by whom, I don't know. When I arrived at the closer of the 2 school buildings, I clung to the wall, climbing to the roof in one swift move. Hoping to make a silent entrance, I hopped clear over the chain link fence and landed soundlessly. Honestly, I should have just slipped in through one of the windows along the way, but I hoped to take a bit of a detour.